what's crazy? Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they keep waiting. Waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they have money, more confidence, more information, more support. And before you know it, a year passes, then 5, then 10. That's why I came up with this quote: procrastination stops elevation. Think about that. Not fear, not failure, not competition, not haters. Procrastination. Because a lot of times, the biggest thing that's standing between us and the next level isn't somebody else. It's the delay. It's the waiting. It's us. And if I'm being real, I've been guilty of that too. I used to think procrastination looked lazy. Somebody sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Somebody wasting time, somebody not caring. But the older I get, the more I realize procrastination isn't always laziness. Sometimes procrastination is wearing a different outfit. You tell yourself, oh, I'll start next week. I need to do a little more research. I just need to get a few things together first. Sounds responsible, right? Sounds logical, but sometimes that's just fear talking. Because if you never start, you'll never find out if you're good enough. If you never launch that idea you've been working on, then you never have to risk failure. If you never take the shot, then you never have to deal with rejection. And that's comfortable, but comfort has a cost. One thing I noticed is that people spend years planning the life they could have started building today. Think about how many people say, I want to start a business. I want to write a book. I want to make content. I want to lose weight. I want to go back to school. I want to move. I want to travel. And every year they tell themselves the same thing. Next year. Then the next year becomes the next year again, and again, and again, and again. At some point, procrastination stops being a delay. It becomes a lifestyle. Here's something I had to learn the hard way though. You don't become confident and then take action. You take action and then become confident. A lot of people got that backwards. They waiting for confidence before they start. See, confidence don't show up first. Confidence is the receipt, and action is purchase. Nobody feels completely ready. Nobody. Not the people you admire, not the people you follow, not the people you think have it all figured out. Most of them started nervous. Most of them started uncertain. Most of them started before they felt ready. And social media don't help, because constantly we're comparing our first step to somebody else's 100th step. You see the finished product, but you don't see the ugly beginning. You don't see the mistakes. You don't see the doubts. You don't see the nights they wanted to quit. You just see the outcome. So now you're sitting there thinking, I need more time. No, you don't. You need motion. That's different. See, one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, I'm waiting for the right time. The right time? What does that even mean? Life would always be life. Newsflash, there will always be bills, problems, solutions, responsibilities, unexpected situations, stress, distractions. If you're waiting for life to stop happening before you start living your life, then you're gonna be waiting forever. Here's the scary part. Procrastination don't steal your future all at once. No, it steals it one day at a time. Now, one day don't seem like much, right? Skipping today don't seem like much. Putting it off till tomorrow don't seem like much neither. Stacking up tomorrows together, and suddenly years disappear. That's what makes procrastination dangerous. Shh, it's quiet. You don't notice the damage right away. I remember hearing somebody say, the graveyard is full of ideas. That stuck with me. Think about how many books were never written. Businesses never started, songs never recorded, films never made, dreams never chased. Not because you couldn't do them, because they kept waiting. And eventually, life ran out before excuses did. Now that's a heavy thought, but it's real. The truth is, most of us already know what we need to do. We just don't want to do it. We want certainty. We want guarantees. We want proof. We want somebody to tell us it's gonna work. But life don't work like that. Sometimes you gotta move first. Sometimes you gotta trust yourself. Sometimes you gotta bet on yourself before anybody else does. And that's uncomfortable, but so is regret. Matter of fact, you know what? I never heard somebody say, I regret trying. Now I heard somebody say, I regret waiting. I hear people say they regret not taking chances. I hear people say, I regret letting fear control their decisions. But I never met somebody at the end of their life saying, I wish I would have waited longer. Never. So when I say procrastination stops elevation, I'm not just talking about careers, I'm talking about life. The conversation you need to have, opportunity you need to pursue, the dream you keep putting off, the change you know you need to make. I think I'm talking to myself right now. Because every level you wanted is on the other side of action. Not perfect action, not guaranteed action, just action. Maybe that's the real difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not intelligence, it's not resources. It's that one group who eventually decides, I'm starting anyway, while the other group waits for permission. So let me leave you with this. What have you been putting off? What dream? What goal? What conversation? What decision? And if you know what it is, what's stopping you? Because maybe the thing that's standing between you and the next level isn't failure. Maybe it's delay. Maybe it's hesitation. Maybe, just maybe, it's procrastination. And maybe procrastination really don't stop elevation. What you think?
Love it, tell you, I don't know what you're waiting. Sitting by the phone or looking at your smart TV. You're not on a computer or whatever you use to. Just go over to YouTube, please. PowerCircle.